Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beautiful You. Today, I want to talk about the effects of negativity and and how thinking about things so negatively can really transfer over to or turn into increased risk of depression or just increased feelings of sadness or anxiety. When we think negatively about things, and I'm not saying that everything has to be wonderful and perfect. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm trying to say is that when you are trying to figure out how to accomplish something or whether or not you want to do something, and whenever you think about it, your brain comes up with a million ways why it won't work. I challenge you to question that kind of thinking, and I challenge you to change it to be more positive, because if you are constantly automatically coming up with reasons why things won't work, then that is going to translate into life actually working out that way for you. I mean, I know it might sound like a bunch of, new age psychobabble. I don't know what people call it these days, but if you, for example, let's think about this. If you think, oh, I'm thinking about making a garden. I wonder how I should do that. I wonder if I should dig a hole in my yard and just plant some plants. I wonder if that will work. And then you think, well, it might not rain enough, or the plants might die, or the dogs might eat them, or the dogs might trample over them, or we might mow them down. I mean, these are all negative things. And what it really is, in my opinion, in my experience, what it really is your inner self stopping you from trying something new because you are afraid of failure. So you come up with a million reasons why it won't work, and then you don't have to do it. If you didn't want to do it, that's fine, just don't do it. But if you want to do something, but then your brain comes up with all these reasons of why it won't work, I challenge you to stop that thinking and try not to even allow your brain to think about any solutions that are negative. Do not even allow that. If every time you, and if you are a lot of times we don't even realize that we're thinking in a negative way, that we're relenting or giving in to negative thinking in our minds. We don't even realize it's very subtle. So if you wonder if you are doing that, just try and listen to, first of all, your answer to solutions. And then secondly, if you find that every time you talk to people, they're suggesting things to you and you're telling them a million reasons why it won't work, or if people ask you to do something and all you can do is come up with things and reasons of why that's not possible, you may be doing this. And we have this voice inside of us that tells us that things won't work out because it's a defense mechanism. It's to protect us from hurting ourselves. It's to protect us from pain. As humans, every single thing we do subconsciously is in order to avoid pleasure or seek pain. Even consciously, it is. We wouldn't do something if it didn't better us, or we wouldn't turn to unhealthy activities if we didn't derive some sort of pleasure, even if it's just something temporary, even if it's something that we know is bad for us. There's some kind of pleasure that we're getting from that. And every single thing that we do is that. So the inner critic would rather, your inner critic, the voice that makes you believe that you can't do something, or that speaks out when you want to do something and tells you the reasons why you can't. This voice is a defense mechanism to protect us from failure. When our brain thinks, when we think about doing something different from normal, out of the ordinary, thinking outside the box, when we think of these things, our brain automatically comes up with a million reasons why it won't work, because the brain does not want to have to face failure. And the odds are higher when you try something new that you haven't done before. In our brain's thinking, the odds are higher that we're going to fail. So you have to remember that you are fighting against your own self. And that means that you actually have to fight harder. It's bad enough when everybody else wants to try and stop us, but when we try and stop ourselves, if you're not aware that this is happening, you're doomed. I mean, not permanently, but how are you gonna do what you want to do if you don't even want yourself to do it, but you don't realize that? So please, when you go to do something, think about what is actually stopping you. We don't really know what's going to happen. We can, speculate and guess what might happen, but we don't know until we try. And if you put your head together with someone else and brainstorm, you may be able to come up with amazing things. If no one ever stopped listening to their negative inner critic, we wouldn't even have inventions. We wouldn't have all kinds of things that we have. We have these things because people did think out of the box. People did not take no for an answer. And I encourage you to do the same. Don't take no for an answer, even from yourself. And if you are thinking that, no, this won't work, why? Why are you thinking that? Sit down and think about it, because you can do anything you want to. But one thing that will stop you from reaching any goal that you want to is a belief that you can't. Stop using the word can't. Don't even let it be a part of your vocabulary, which means you can't even let it be a part of your thinking either. Don't use the word can't. It doesn't do anything besides keep you in your same routine. And if you're already not happy, if you're already experiencing sadness and anxiety, then if you don't do something different, how is it going to change? It's not. You have to stop negative thinking in your mind. You have to. I mean, if you want to continue saying the word can't, I really strongly advise that maybe you don't listen to these videos anymore. And just, if you're not going to stop using the word can't, I mean, you're fooling yourself to think you can change, honestly. And I don't mean to be mean, harsh. I don't mean to be insulting, but you can't do anything if you won't stop using the word can't. So you're wasting your time listening to this. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. I say everything out of love and encouragement, and I just want to see you have the best life possible. And one way to do that is stop using the word can't. Because you are beautiful, and you can do anything you want to. You can. Don't use the word can't.